If you abide by my word, you are truly my disciples. The world in which you live is full of wonderful possibilities, yet remains unconquered because man has not reached the crown of his being, the Christ consciousness. The very seasons are dependent upon God and man and are according to the inner mind. Because you have not yet risen to the consciousness that controls the world, you pray to God for the seasons to produce for you. If you had known that the Lord and Master was within, the very trees would respond on condition you became one with its hidden law. I stilled the storm with the words, "Peace, be still." Not that the words were the cause, but that I had control over my natural self, and therefore used my God-given right of dominion over all things. My disciples were fearful and said to each other, "Oh, who is this that even the winds and the sea obey him?" But I say unto you, ye are the channels through which the divine will manifest itself if ye abide by my word. And to do this you must become selfless and at one with the Lord thy God, for the Lord thy God is one Lord and not many. This must be imprinted on your mind, so that wherever you are it shall be before you to remind you of the truth. Then you will be alive to the truth of your being, the omnipotence of God in man. You have already learned that the body has no control over you, but the Christ in you does the work of healing. For it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of the Father which speaketh through you. All this is possible if you abide by my word, for God never fails, and victory is yours. Fear not what you shall do, for when the need arises you will know how to act. Never for a moment allow the senses to suggest fear or doubt, for I am with you always. The Father never fails, nor does he make a mistake. And he is forever working in you, and the more you give, the more you receive. No weapon forged against you shall succeed. No tongue raised against you shall win its plea. This the Eternal has promised when you abide by my word. There is nothing higher or more satisfying than that you know how to speak the word and heal in proportion to your understanding of the truth. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever gives up his life for my sake will find it. This means that whosoever realizes that the flesh has no say in the matter, but that the Spirit alone has life, that one shall find the Christ. The Christ stands for the complete and deliberate obedience to truth. This is the first step to be taken in the Christ life. This does mean giving up all things of the world in which you live. It does not mean that you have to become poor and desolate and separate yourselves from your fellows. It is the sense of dominion over all things while using all things in their true values. You no longer are in obedience to the world, but are rulers of the world with Christ the one more. True renunciation becomes real acquisition. You lay down your life of the world to take up your life of the Spirit, not that they are separate, for they are not. One is the effect and the other is the cause. Spirit is the only reality. Yet the weapons you use are not earthly weapons, but with the might of God you conquer all things. Cast down every false thing that exalts itself against the ruling of the Christ of God, for Christ alone is master over all things, and you are my disciples. No man has power to take my life away from me, but if I lay it down of my own will I have power to take it up again. This command I received from my Father, thus I am eternal and ever present. So with me, you lay it down to take it up again, but with the great difference that you are one with me and are my disciples. So while you are mortal you have become immortalized, and although the battle of life rages around you, you know that the battle is already won, for no one can conquer those in Christ the only begotten Son of the Father. For I have come that ye shall have life, and a more abundant life. Those who believe in death, let them bury their dead, but you who believe in everlasting life, go and tell the good news, so that all may hear it, and I am that life which is eternal. For it is the same life in the Father as in the Son, and whatever I say my Father shall manifest from me, for we speak as one. Likewise you are spiritual beings sent out from God to do his work. Thus the Father has sent you, as he hath sent me unto you. The world is your place of action, never mind for the morrow will take care of itself. Sufficient unto the present. God has prepared everything for you, but you can only take in the present, therefore the present is the only time for you. You are my disciples, for I have chosen you. You have not chosen me, as I have already told you. Therefore follow me, for I am the good shepherd, and I know my own, and my own know me. Just as my Father loves me, so do I love you. It is my Father that gives all. The world gives nothing. You are one with me while on earth to bring the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of the inner to the outer, so that all may be one. Thus it is important that you live every moment as the Christ lives every moment. There is no death in Christ, only life, and this life is all there is in reality. All else is but illusion and shadow. I am teaching you to be full of confidence, for in this lies your work as my disciples. For you have received the Spirit of God, never to fear again, and you now call God your Father. For those who are led by the Spirit of God are the sons and daughters of God, so you are not indebted to the flesh for your life, but to the eternal Father in whom you live and who lives in you. There is a beautiful work before you. Realize that the world cannot touch you, for you are doing God's work and willing His will. You have reached the place where you no longer hear two voices, only the one voice of the Christ in you, and His name is love. To love thy neighbor as thyself is to live in the law of life, and the law is paramount. Whatever ye decree in my name, so shall it be unto you, because of the law that is highest is above all things respond to love. Love never fails, but whether there be prophecies they shall fail, whether there be tongues they shall cease, whether there be knowledge it shall be superseded. But with love it endureth forever, and with it all things are subdued and conquered. I am that love, therefore abide in my word, and truly be my disciples. Therefore I command you to love me as I love you, so that my Father in heaven shall glorify Himself in you. And as you grow in love, you draw others with you. This is God's perfect plan for the fulfillment of the Christ on earth. There is a wave of unrest covering the earth, but be not dismayed. This unrest only proves the inherent life at work to free mankind from bondage. God's wheels do not clog. We are watching and waiting patiently the unfolding of the divine plan. Wars are but the signs of the times. The prince of the world is doomed, as the day of the Lord is at hand. For the Christ is not mocked, nor has He changed. He is ever the same, for all things are under His feet. What is born of the flesh is flesh, what is born of the Spirit is spirit. That which descended from heaven shall ascend to heaven, even the Son of Man who is in heaven. God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, so that whosoever believed in Him shall have everlasting life. And just as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so the Son of Man is ready to be lifted up, so that all who abide in Him shall find peace and everlasting life. And the keys of the kingdom are in your own hands. With your heart steadfast and strengthened, out of chaos and confusion there will come peace and order upon earth. The wars of nations are but the pangs of the birth of the new era. The consciousness of the race will be lifted up by pain, the refining fire. Open your hearts to the Christ consciousness and be at rest, for the new dawn is rising. The Christ, the light of the world, shall reign. His kingdom is the kingdom of love that cometh to reign forever and ever. Then if you abide by my word, you are truly my disciples. My peace and my love I leave with you, to remain with you always. If you abide by my word, you are truly my disciples.